Good evening, everyone. Thanks very much for inviting me. It's good to be back. And thank you very much for the warm introduction. We are both from the Wirral, I think, so that's also a coincidence from Atter. We're both tech founders as well, so there we go. Now, what I'd like to talk about tonight is picking up some interesting things from both Maggie and Adam, because let me tell you about what I did yesterday, which I think is sort of a good segue into describing the big idea I'd like to talk about. I warmly welcomed students from my School of Economics who came to Liverpool yesterday. They came to find out what was going on here. And we had a fabulous day. With Olivier in the room, and also Patrick, who gave an introductory talk to this day and about the Liverpool story, about how Liverpool was changing and regenerating, and some of the reasons why that happened. And so we then went on to make Liverpool, we then went to Baltic Creative and Tapestry District, and we just had a fabulous day, and people gave a lot of their time, and the enthusiasm and passion came through very strongly. What we were actually doing is we were putting into practice ever closer union of peoples. And that's what I wanted to talk about. It's the idea that we were living yesterday, and that's why it's wonderful, connecting Europeans, people from around the world, because ever closer union of peoples doesn't mean just Europeans. It means whoever is here, whoever happens to be visiting, studying, living here, can expect to feel included and be part of something. And this is what we were accomplishing yesterday, which is really about how to connect Liverpool with the wider UK initiative to promote entrepreneurship and to promote different avenues and different ways into entrepreneurship. As Maggie said, I think it's often, particularly with female entrepreneurship, looking for different ways and perhaps a broader set of choices than what has come to be seen as a very profit-based and very competitive world of startups, which has tended to emphasise inadvertently and perhaps not so inadvertently, but the masculine elements of that, and we do therefore see a vast inequality in the way in which we start companies and see employment being generated as a result. The European Union is playing an absolutely critical role in counterbalancing that, in taking initiatives and funding initiatives that are rebalancing the whole entrepreneurial startup ecosystem, and allowing more people to get involved. So this is a photo straight out of the Baltic Creative. You may recognise that. Mark Waller is there. Should I?
You shout, I'll do it.
Okay, yeah. The next slide. Sorry, so you can just go back one slide. Just go back to the. If you can see the headline slide there.
Should just be a full view, I think. If you.
Anyway, you can see that phrase, ever closer union of peoples. I put it up there deliberately so that we can really focus on it, because we haven't. During the referendum, we gave the game away early. We allowed the phrase ever closer union of peoples to become ever closer union. And at its most dishonest, we allowed it to become ever closer union of states. That is one big lie. It never said that. David Cameron lied to the people in Britain when he said we are going to renegotiate and have removed the commitment to ever closer union of states. It never said states. Only has ever said closer union of peoples. That union, small u, means it is about people. It's about people interacting and trading and being together. I think it's a beautiful phrase. It's something I want to get behind and I feel very passionate about. And yesterday we lived it, we made it happen. And I think we've got to seize hold of this, put ever closer union of peoples right back, right where it belongs on the agenda, because it is simply better and more powerful phrase than taking back control. Yes, good. So, okay. I don't believe we're leaving it with coffee. We're putting up boundaries. We're putting up barriers. As Adam said, we're actually creating walls. We're pulling away cables. This will have a particularly negative effect on small to medium-sized businesses here in this region. And that's really the kind of second idea I wanted to introduce you to. So I think the short end of the stick is the effect that will have, particularly on those people who run small businesses or micro businesses, and it will have a particularly bad effect on those women who are setting up small micro businesses in different situations, and they'll particularly be affected by that. That's next. One of the things that happens, and there's different ways of looking at entrepreneurship. On the right-hand side is, if you like, a very London-centric, perhaps Brexity way of looking at entrepreneurship generally. It's a ranking. And what we see is which countries are most advanced in entrepreneurship. In other words, how much investments they're getting, how many entrepreneurs do they have, how many businesses do they have, and so on. And indeed, this year in 2018, we ranked 4th. So there's lots of Brexity reasons to say we're just better than anyone else. Why do we even talk to anyone else? France is at 10. Sweden, who will meet, of course, look up, is at 9, so things are looking up. Germany's at 15. Slovakia's 36. I mean, come on. Why do we even talk to these people? Right? We're just the best, right, in Europe. Now, there is a significant problem with that, as you can probably guess what I'm going to say, is we're not, first of all, we're not in a ranking. The reality is our ranking as a great place to do business and a great place to start a business is a function of our situation within a network, an ecosystem or a cluster, if you like, of Europe. The fact that we are open for business and the fact that people might come into the UK to do business is a reason why we are at number 4. It is not that we can detach ourselves. It's a bit like Real Madrid saying, we'll go off by ourselves and leave the Champions League and Serie A, and we'll go and play by ourselves in the stadium. How long would it take before people got rather bored of that situation? You can actually measure that, and there's a strange phenomena in entrepreneurship where you think, well, small businesses, for example, could start up anywhere. You can, in theory, be on a beach in Thailand or Australia. This is in fact, Dr. Fox gave a talk about the fact that there's now a digital world, geography didn't matter, we could do anything, break global Brexit. This is all complete nonsense. In fact, the reality is geography is becoming more important, not less important. One of the reasons we use the internet for is actually to get closer to each other, not further away. This map, by the way, is actually a map of registration of patents. And what it shows is, it's not, you're not able to really see it from the back, but it essentially shows a clustering effect. So rather than seeing in terms of a rank, we are actually embedded in an ecosystem, and we are taking ourselves out of that ecosystem. That will have disastrous effects. Move on to the next slide. There's a good example of this, TransferWise. I don't think anybody uses TransferWise, but it's. Can you just scroll down a little bit to get the bottom? It's a great British fintech story all the way from Estonia. And just to pick up on your point, it's free movement allows entrepreneurs, tech founders, creatives to move around the continent and make things happen in a way that can be truly amazing and surprising. There was nothing planned about this. The two founders, Christo and Tabet, just came up with the idea during some idling time, to be honest. It was one of those sort of serendipitous things that happens. So, this is a good example. That's the kind of billion-dollar company that's getting us to be number 4. Because we have EU nationals willing to move across the continent. Go through this quickly. We've obviously benefited enormously in the region from the European Regional Development funding. And there's But the point I want to make about this is going to be a double whammy here. In theory, London could replace the funding pound for pound. In theory, that's possible, and Brexiters often say that. However, policy-wise, there is a strong bias towards two forms of funding. One is funding entrepreneurship in the Golden Triangle, Cambridge, Oxford, London. The vast majority of our entrepreneurial support goes into that triangle. But also funding larger, high-growth businesses, businesses that are already quite large and have already been proven to receive angel and independent investment input. So, in other words, we are, the government would say, backing winners. But guess who's winning from that game? It tends to be male, it tends to be tech, it tends to be sun. So, if we do, as we go into Brexit, we are very likely to experience the same embedded bias in the Western system that's biased against both Northerners generally, as in where's the Northern powerhouse, but also small micro businesses and the diverse entrepreneurial ecosystem that is currently thriving here in Liverpool and across the Northwest. Move on, so thank you. Just a point here. The jobs that are going to come in the future are not going to be, we don't know what they are. Many of the jobs that exist today will simply disappear, and through automation, through new technologies, and new jobs will be created. This is not a time to be putting up barriers with the enterprise and innovation centres across Europe. The other point is that we gain the skills to compete in those areas by having investors bringing in money and paying for great projects that build skills in those areas. This is not classroom teaching. This is about actually doing live projects. Again, you know around that in terms of cloud-based computing. There's an element of, yes, you have certain minimum skills, but then you've got to be doing it, working, innovating, trying it out, and so on. And that's why investment is so important. Move on. We're losing talent already. There's been this fairly noticeable, significant talent erosion through the hostile environments, through our making life difficult for EU nationals, EU citizens to stay here, whether that's cultural, whether it's actually pragmatic. Some of you will know that firsthand. And people are making choices not to come here. So it isn't only the NHS, that is something. Investors are keeping money dry. They're keeping it out of investment. And don't be fooled here by some of the figures that show investments at record levels. Much of that is brownfield coming in to buy cheap assets in the UK. The investment in greenfield funding is going down. It's going down critically. And the government are frankly not being honest with the country in making that clear. And that's going to mean that funding is going to start drying up for key projects in regions, particularly in regions where funding is already hard to come by, like our own. Key sort of battleground in the next few years is to build a sustainable ecosystem which allows micro businesses and creatives and small businesses to earn money from their energies and from their skills. There's currently a huge battle for Article 13, which many of you may have read about. You may have heard of the death of the meme mythology, which is currently going around. All the European Union are doing is signing with creatives, small businesses that are crying out for platforms which enable them to get paid and actually stand up to the Google world where everything is just owned by Google. In other words, open source inverted commas. This is about creating a platform where, for example, musicians can get paid for music they create, or photographers can get paid and get licensing fees, designers and so on. Okay. And I really want to recommend a movement here, Free Move Correct, which is set up by creatives to campaign for free movement. So you see the donate button there, so I know you've had lots of calls on your money, but it's certainly something I'm supporting, which is specifically targeted at the small creative industries, which are so key to Liverpool, is make sure they thrive. And that's why I can support. And of course, we know during Ward MEP, he was actively campaigning, and I think was very instrumental in some of this legislation going through the European Parliament. Okay. So, you heard this before, man and others, but what I'm saying, what we need, what entrepreneurs need is one platform for hiring, one platform for IP, one platform for VAT, one platform for enforcing contracts from one end of the continent to the other, one platform for research spending, one market for people and talent. We are a community of Europe and we need to defend that to the last. Okay? And that's what, in my view, ever closer union with people really means.